guys, Dave at Winterhouse Gaming. What's going on?
It's Tony. You know it is.
It's not the round table, it's the square table.
It's the square table. Kelly here.
Will?
Yep. You guys remember Will from Bangor Comic and Toy Con? He's been on quite a bit. Real good friend of ours. We do a lot with him with Bangor Comic and Toy Con. So. Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So you guys already know by now because you've seen this all over his page, our page. Jason Faunt is here with us. We are very excited. And he's actually waiting right now. And you guys are going to be real jealous because it is extremely sunny in Los Angeles right now.
Sunny and beautiful.
This thing is every day.
It's beautiful. All right, here we go.
Boom.
All right.
There you go.
Here you go. You're live, man. How's it going, bud?
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you just fine.
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to get out there and meet everybody.
Yeah, we're pretty excited too. Have you ever been to Maine? First of all.
You know what? I've been to literally 9 different countries in the past 2 years. I've been all over, and I have never set foot in the state of Maine. So when this came up, I was jumping at the chance to come.
I'll tell you what. I've lived in Maine since I was 3. I've been to a lot of different, states, but there's something about Maine that is just so. It's home, and it's beautiful.
It's a very homey feel.
The trees and the snow. And just everything about it is fantastic. And
by the end of the winter, you grow to hate the snow. But
there's a little joke that that Maine is honorary Canada because everyone is just very polite, and you can bump into someone and they'll apologize to you. It's very very awesome. Down home kind of feel.
It really is.
It really is.
People open their doors to you. So we're very excited for you to come up here. And Will is bringing you up here, and we can't thank him enough for this.
Seriously,
yeah. Thank you guys.
Very
glad to make it happen.
Thank you.
Heard a lot of great things. Joe Ribs will not stop talking about Jason, so can't wait to finally get to meet him.
Yep, it'll be awesome.
So I got kind of a first question for you. We are a gaming group. It's what we live on. We love it, and we can't get enough of it. Do you have any time, or are you even interested in anything gaming?
You know what? It's hard for me to get time to do it. I love gaming. I can see how it gets very addictive very quickly.
Oh yes.
But I love it, and it's absolutely incredible. One of my younger daughters, we have a PS4 here, and I got the Resident Evil stuff and different racing games. I'm trying to get them into it, but they're little girls, so not so much. But I love the graphics. It's incredible now what these games do, and having a first-hand experience of being a part of Resident Evil, I see how much work goes into those games. It
really does. I mean, the voiceovers, the graphics from us playing back in the 90s and the 80s, and now it's crazy how things have grown in such little time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you have, if you had a chance right now to kind of sit back and take a year off and maybe try a game that you've always wanted to try, do you have any game right now that you would definitely get into?
I guess in general I like the adventure games, but I've always liked Madden football. I like the sports stuff, and then I think I would love to get through the Resident Evil stuff because the jump scares in that are amazing, and and I like those adventure
right at your
thrills where you're kind of out there, fending for your life type things. So Resident Evil and then Madden football, I guess, would be my top 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crossover between those.
Well, Tony wants a crossover between what? Madden and Resident Evil?
Like Resident football. or evil football.
That's so funny. That would be absolutely fantastic. Now, you said adventure game. I think that maybe Uncharted would be right down your alley.
You have a PS4. That'd be a perfect place to start.
Uncharted is fantastic. So, we'll kind of go around and just kind of ask you a question because I talk all the time. So, Kelly.
Yeah, so I don't think you can see me over here, Jason. I'm kind of the audio guy of the group.
We'll swing it over.
Do what I do.
It's not stuck on the whole time.
I control all of everything behind the scenes here, but I actually have a few questions. But just getting to something a little bit more humorous, what's the funniest or most embarrassing thing that you've run into on set for, either motion capture for Resident Evil or for Power Rangers?
The most embarrassing thing, or like a funny story?
Embarrassing or funny story, it doesn't matter.
Well, you know what we did, and I can say this because there's no real footage of it. When they started to create the, when you do the motion capture for Resident Evil, you're like in the stadium, and there's these huge flat screens up there. And as they started to form the character around me, you could look up and you could literally wave or nod your head or do anything and see it happening in live time. So the first thing I started doing was just humping everything I could.
Yes.
If you remember Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore, where you're running around just like, So it was pretty funny to see Leon Kennedy just running around pumping his hips and everything.
That's wonderful.
That is pretty funny. I like that.
That would be my go-to move.
It would be.
It is.
We had a video back in high school called Humpfest, so it's not what you think it is, but
And by that he means it's
that's
exactly
awesome.
what you think it is.
yeah, Tony.
Now, do you just like is it just like the wireframe of of you when you do the motion capture, or is it just like just actual footage of you? Because I know that when you have the motion capture, you have the lights and stuff,
And all of those little things on your skin.
Yeah, it's very strange. So I didn't know if it was just like a wireframe, connecting of the lights kind of making the general shape of you, or if it was actually you that was just humping everything.
No, so once they actually do it, it started of just being the kind of like the lights, and then over time, I don't know what changed it, but eventually the characters slowly came together. Maybe the graphics were getting built as we went. I really don't know, but when I was doing that, it was actually me as Leon Kennedy doing all that, so it was actually the character.
Oh, okay.
That's
so,
cool.
so that's actually about exponentially more
that's
entertaining.
exponentially more hilarious.
I would love to.
It was Leon. It was Leon.
It was Leon for sure. Unmistakable.
Leon just walking around humping Mr. X.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure if all the Japanese guys understood my humor, but I went for it nonetheless.
They're probably just like, what's this guy doing?
Well, we usually joke around about a lot of stuff like that on the podcast.
Yeah,
but,
we're pretty crude guys at times.
me being kind of like the dad of the group, I guess, I was like, let's try to
You're really terrible, Dad.
terrible dad. So another question that I have for you.
Why don't you get yourself on? Oh, there you go. You're kind of there now.
666 Teen Warlock, 2016. Were you in that?
I was.
I have a question.
That was a question.
What was that?
I'll tell you what that is. That is classic Hollywood payback, is what that is.
Okay.
And the guy that does those movies, he was the first director that got me my first job back in 1997. So his name is David Dakota, and when he does his movies, they're quick paydays, and
Okay.
they're pretty obscure, so not everybody sees them. So I kind of laughed because when he asked me to come make an appearance on him, I just could never say no to him.
Right.
He's the guy that got me my first gig years ago.
He's like a mentor kind of guy.
He's my mentor. I love him to death, and those things are kind of cheesy horror films, and I always laugh. I'm like, well, you know what? They're paying me to do acting class, so you just keep getting in front of the camera, and it's kind of fun when it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's kind of like preseason football.
You could
It's just
probably
kind of like, okay,
Yeah, you could probably try something different that you couldn't try in another film.
exactly.
I completely get that.
I guess it would allow you to be more cheesy and get in this extra cheesy character.
Not so
like
much cheesy, but exactly who you might be, right?
Maybe Scottish accent, just
yeah. Ouch, my leg! I can't do Scottish. I'm so sorry. That's funny. I pulled it up and I. Excuse me.
Will.
Rude.
I was trying to get the questions.
It's
I was
all
trying to
right.
grab guest questions, see if I could bring anything up. But
So I pulled up. The first thing you do with someone is you Google them, right? And it's the first thing that pops
Hey,
up.
get it right. I did Wikipedia.
Wait, you trust that stuff?
No.
It says he has 4 ears.
I didn't read that part.
It really doesn't, but that's okay. So the first thing that
that's
popped up
cool.
was
I
that.
really have 3, so you can see they're off.
Exactly. Right. So the funny thing is, I'm gonna probably try to find that film and watch it now because it sounds interesting. So.
You know what's funny is it is cheesy, and Hillary Shepard's in that as well.
Yeah.
Huh.
And we it was funny because as cheesy as it is, the role that I have in there is stern like uncle. So my stuff is actually pretty normal.
Is it? Yeah.
Huh.
Despite, I all my stuff was pretty normal, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So, what was your favorite part of being a Power Ranger? What was your favorite?
You know, I think at the time, you know, it was just the fact that we were working actors and making money. But honestly, and this is the truth, is my favorite part is now.
No.
Because we get to go around the world, and if you guys heard some of the stories and the impacts of different lives we've affected and the positive, it's mind-boggling. I mean, some of that stuff is it's crazy to see what some of the stories these kids have, and it's brought me to tears several times.
Wow.
That all they had was us, and watching us on TV, and it's pretty cool to know that you made an impact in people's lives.
Yeah, that is very cool. That's cool that you. I mean,
not everyone has that kind of a chance.
No, I think,
right.
Yeah, I
right.
think that's like my biggest, like one of the things I enjoy the most about being able to do these conventions is getting to see that the reaction between the fan and the guest, and hearing those stories, and just like the impact that, you know, you guys as the guests make on them, and how like you've got, you know, touching things can be, or how it's like, you know, changed their life in a better way or helped them through tough times. So I think it's so awesome to get to see those interactions with people.
Yeah, it's very cool that you get to travel the world and you know, do that, and it's what you love. I'm sure you know. Mm-hmm. So it's very cool, man.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is that you meet all these kids in their 20s, you know, that have their stories about bullying or their parents getting divorced, or, you know, some of them it's like them and their dad used to watch the show and then their dad dies in a car accident, and this was like the one way they remember it, and you're thinking, oh my God, these are just heart-wrenching stories. And you know, you hear these things, and then now they're taking them to watch with their children. So now you get a whole another generation of kids that are 6, 7, 8 years old that are coming back, watching the show for the first time, you know, and it's just recreating it again. So it's a real honor to be a part of that.
That's very cool.
And I'm fairly certain that like pretty much everyone, like, you know, in this room, we're all kind of like in the same ish age range, so we all kind of have our own like Power Rangers like story or memory or anything, just like I do. I remember watching the original Power Rangers way
too.
back in the day, back when I was like you know, we were dirt poor, we didn't have cable or anything. It was all like public access television,
even
VHS and stuff like that.
Dude, even VHS,
yeah,
stuff
like
too.
coming home from school, and like it would just be Power Rangers, you know, and it would be what's his name?
Zordon. Yeah,
Zordon. It's obviously been a long time.
I haven't watched it since I was like 10, so
yeah.
You know.
I mean, even was it Super Nintendo, the Power Rangers game?
Yeah.
How many hours I put into that thing when I was.
Yeah. I actually remember getting like a Power Rangers. It was almost like a whistle type thing from like McDonald's. That's like a McDonald's toy, and like when you like blew into it, it made this like really irritating. Now I'm sure, like whistling sound, like a whirring sound
that your parents probably hated you for
it was
at
probably
the time.
From like the first Power Rangers movie, and it was like. Honestly, I lost it, but I'm pretty sure they just hid it from me. All but convinced.
I bet they absolutely hid it from you.
How funny!
Yeah, it's like, you know, the whole toys thing. I mean, Saturday morning cartoons and all that. It just keeps going on and on forever. I mean, we still go. You know, the program VRV. You can go on and watch all those older shows, the new Nickelodeon ones, all that stuff. I had a Megazord growing up, and it was about as tall as I was. I mean,
you're not very tall though.
That's true. I'm not very tall.
So, do you still have like the relationship between you and like Power Rangers? Like when they ask you to like I don't know, every once in a while like go back, do they just call you like, hey, you know, what's going on? Maybe come back, do like this weird movie or something? Or is it very just kind of like contractually like, or is it like transactional, or is it real casual, loose? Kind of fun.
Like, are you still friends with them?
We're doing this new thing. Like, we want to have you as a cameo. Like, I don't know. What are you doing? Like, in 3 weeks, do you want to come back? I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the reunion episodes, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I tell you what, I actually know the answer to that behind the scenes. So what they do is the last reunion episode, they sent an email out to all of us saying like, hey, who's available in 3 weeks to film a reunion episode in New Zealand? And then they see who was available, who could come back, who wanted to come back. Of course, everybody raised their hand because, you know, you get to come back on the show. It's great for Comic-Cons. You know, they're flying you out there first class. You're getting, you know, obviously you're getting paid to be there. And then once they find out who can come or who wants to come, then they start picking and choosing which Rangers are more popular, which Rangers they had a better relationship with, and they start kind of like picking and choosing from that group. So it's a real honor when they come calling because, you know, you get to come back on the show and see everybody again. But it's very like who can make it, and then once we all do it, they start selecting who they want based on popularity, gender, ethnicity. You know, they try and mix everything up, and that's kind of how it plays out.
That's very cool.
That's cool. So
yeah.
I have kind of a random question. I heard you grew up in Chicago. Is that correct?
Yeah,
in that area?
Northwest suburbs, yeah.
Gotcha. So you must know Chicago pizza. So do you have any thoughts on
This is the whole very random.
Dude, yeah. I got creative.
Yeah,
the Chicago and New York pizza battle. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. Oh my God, Chicago by far.
Yeah?
And yeah, that deep dish stuff, Giordano's or Illuminati's or even Gino's East in Chicago, it's like this big thick thing, and it's just what I grew up on, and I love it. I don't do it much because it's so thick, you know. So, you know, nowadays I eat like cauliflower crusted pizza and all this stuff, but
like all the healthier stuff.
I love Chicago style. I love Chicago
Yeah,
style.
see, now I've never had the chance to have it. All I know is like New York style pizza because I grew up in the Northeast, so that's what we get a lot up here. So
yeah.
So, bro, they have it now where you can order Illuminati's. They bring it frozen, fresh to your door.
Ooh, wow.
So they literally deliver it from Chicago, and
like up here in Maine, they'd send it to me.
Yeah,
they'll come to your house and they're just like, here, it's straight from the, from the.
You know what we'll do? You know what I should do? I should order that for when I come out to Maine, so we can all have that.
Oh my God,
and then
dude!
We'll have it delivered, and then we can all eat that one night. It'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like Dave would just roll around in it.
Yeah,
just like a bodysuit.
We're at about 16 minutes. I knew we were going to keep you around 10 to 15, so I don't want to keep you too much longer.
I mean,
what time is it? Oh, we're good for another. Yeah, if you got a few more, let's go for it. I got to jump in like 8 minutes at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. So we are going to be doing some free play gaming. We're also going to have, I think we're going to have like a PSVR thing. I would absolutely love if you came over and tried anything. You don't have to we're not going to like record you or anything, but I encourage you to come over and check out, maybe even Uncharted. Just for like 5-6 minutes.
Dude, I would love that. You can record it, man. It'd be fun.
Well,
It'd be a great time.
He strikes me as a young Nathan Drake.
I was gonna say, I was thinking like when we were talking movies, I was like, Jason would be like a great live action Nathan Drake.
That's why I kept mentioning Uncharted because of the venture thing, and I'm like, this guy reminds me of like a Nathan Drake.
Right, like he
even looks
look
like him.
Yeah.
Well,
which is a complete compliment, by the way.
I read for the role of Nathan Drake.
Really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, like I want to say like maybe 3 years ago, I read for Nathan Drake in one of the video games. Didn't get it, but I remember saying to them, they're like, "Do you have any motion capture experience?" I'm like, "Yeah, I freaking Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil," and I think that actually hurt me because I don't know if they wanted the Leon guy to be the Nathan guy. I don't know if they wanted the same kind of walk and stature.
Right.
But,
yeah, I mean,
but I remember
I do know the Resident Evil games
I
move
didn't
slower.
know that was Uncharted.
Yep. I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna have Uncharted ready.
Yeah.
At
we will
the
have
convention
Uncharted 4 ready for you because
I'm gonna have a save point at one of the best locations. And I encourage you. Yep.
So not the tutorial.
I'm going to encourage, and I'll come find you, remind you who I am and all that, and be like, hey, you got to come try this, whenever you're ready.
Give them time to run and hide from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no place to hide in Maine. I just want to let you know. Well, there is
dude, there's a lot of woods. What are you talking about, man? There's everywhere to hide.
That's like the like another.
So
you have like,
what should I be doing when I get out there? I mean,
So we got to bring you to Stephen King's house.
Yep.
That's right up the road. We bring all the guests there. They like to get a photo outside of his house.
Is he there?
Most times he's at his house.
Yep. He'll actually he actually lives about a mile and a half down the road from me.
Yep.
And you can
Let's go there now.
let's go. I'll bring the phone. So yeah, he lives down there, and you can take pictures in front of the house and stuff. When It Too was coming out, he actually put the balloons in the window.
Yep.
And he has the most amazing wrought iron fence with these gargoyles on it, and it's beautiful.
Honestly, if you try to picture like the house that Stephen King would live in,
you wouldn't even know.
It looks exactly like
what you're gonna picture.
Like, it's just very Gothic era style. It's just very creepy looking.
It is, yeah. It's very Victorian. It's a very Maine Victorian house.
And it
is.
You touched on something real quick, Dave, that we like to have a lot of fun, and so does he. And like, especially when it was coming out, I think they got like a little cardboard cutout of Pennywise, and they put it in the
sewer drain,
the storm drain, like right beneath his house and stuff like that.
Cool is that?
Yeah.
It's,
so he definitely should do Stephen King thing.
Yep.
You're flying in Thursday, right? Was the plan?
Yeah.
So maybe Friday, depending on how you feel in the flight. Bar Harbor's like an hour away. It's right on the coast. It was like the second or third nicest ocean in the.
It's really
No, it was like the beach or whatever.
We have like
the beach thing or whatever. Like Sand Beach was.
Oh, Sandy Beach.
Yeah, it was like the number 1 or 2. I think.
So you like your ocean? Have you tried our ocean? Oh my God!
I bet my ocean
I'll tell you what,
beat up your ocean.
Our ocean's not good, man. I live probably a mile from it, and it's cold, it's dirty, it's funny. It's like the last thing we do out here, which is a shame.
Dude, we got you. Ours is clean. It's freezing cold. You can get naked and bathe in it.
Take him to Bar Harbor, go to Sand Beach, go up Cadillac Mountain.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that at that point,
we're
Acadia
all
National
about
Park
that,
is
man.
going to be
I would
open
love
to some
see
extent.
Yeah.
Some of the scenery. I love eating new foods.
Have you had Moxie?
No.
So
That's
one of the things I want to do this year is with the guests, like after their panels, is do like a video challenge thing where we have them trying Moxie, because it's one of those things where either people love it or they hate it. There's like no in between.
It's like
There really isn't.
Like those Necco wafer candies were a liquid.
It's like black licorice.
Yeah, it's very
medicine.
I like,
how do you feel?
so cool.
How do you feel like drinking motor oil mixed with antifreeze?
What is that?
It's
motor oil mixed with antifreeze. That's exactly what it looks and tastes like.
You get a lot of people will.
Well, how would you know what motor oil and antifreeze tastes like?
Hey, my other job is working in a dirty garage.
Right.
Sometimes you get it in your mouth.
But I will say that probably the best part of Maine is like when I'm streaming and people from other countries or other states will say, okay, Maine, like give me the highlights, and I'm like, come and eat a lobster roll.
Yeah.
And then
lobster.
You know, there's
Bathe in Moxie.
Dude, you're gonna love it. You like lobster?
You know what I do? I don't eat a lot of it, but not because I don't like it. I just, it's just not. I'm a big steak, and I always eat steak and chicken and fish.
We got all that.
We got it all. Yeah.
We have some of the best fish.
Just
you
said
can get.
on that call we got.
You gotta have Maine lobster, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
It's a staple.
So, real quick, funny
blueberries.
story, and then we can kind of get him out of here.
Yeah.
John, who owns Seasons, where we're gonna we got the chef there that's gonna make meals and whatnot for all the guests. One year, a few of the guests had requested lobster for lunch, and at the time, the venue didn't allow outside food or drink. So John had like 10 lobsters cooked, double wrapped them in tin foil, and put on this giant trench coat, and like just walked through the front gate, like showing his badge, and comes up to me, he's like, "Yo, I got a trench coat full of lobsters for you. Can you bring me to the green room? And I thought he was joking, and then he's like, no, like, and he opens it, he's like, look, like, opens up his trench coat, and it's just like stuffed full of lobsters for all of the celebrities who like, and get like artists that he brought in for him to eat.
Oh my
That's
word!
actually not the craziest story I've heard involving Maine lobster.
No, probably not.
Yeah, so we do get lucky with our lobster. It's so good. But you should definitely. I agree with Will on the Bar Harbor thing and the Cadillac Mountain comment. Cadillac Mountain is just it's kind of it's not a huge mountain, but you can drive all the way to the top of it, and you get the best view of the coastline,
Seacoast, Bar Harbor. It's beautiful.
It's all the islands.
You might see Patrick Dempsey riding a moose. I don't know.
Wow.
You might see. That's true.
Any local stuff, guys. I mean, like in terms of food, local flair restaurants.
There's plenty of that in Bangor, especially.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some kind of a whatever, like a moose viewing place, I know I'm just totally stereotyping, but I'm all about that. And if also there's any kind of a local hospital where kids are sick, I'm happy to stop by.
Yeah.
And bring
So I work with it's called Northern Light Hospital here in Bangor, and they do there's a thing called Level Up, where they basically you play video game, like a marathon of video games, and it raises money for the Children's Cancer Center. So we could certainly reach out to them and maybe try to schedule something to have you swing by and visit. That would be
that would
amazing.
Put a smile on a lot of
if we can.
I agree.
I'll message her. I'll message her once we get done here. And
Okay, do you still fit into the tights, or is that a no-go?
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm actually, and it's funny. I'm more muscular than I was now, so
Okay.
It's hard to zip it up now.
Yeah.
Because I'm busting out of it like the Hulk, but yeah, I still fit in there.
Well, I mean, when your wife's done eating the soup that she was eating, she could help you out.
For all we know, he might be wearing them right now.
That's true.
That's right.
If I was, I would just add all
the time. Just all the time.
At the gym,
So.
at the office. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jason, I think that's a pretty good place right there. Thank you very much for joining us, and we are extremely excited to meet you in person and hang out with you, and torture you with Maine cuisine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait, guys. Thank you for having me up there. I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting everybody, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Thank
See
you
later,
for taking
guys.
time.
Take it easy, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care.
See ya.
We didn't even tell him about the hog's head cheese.
Right. We did.
No, we didn't.
That's very true.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. He's a really nice guy.
That was extremely
nice
fun.
guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Very, very laid back. He's gonna fit in fantastically here.
I agree.
Yeah.
As soon as he mentioned humping, everyone, boom.
Yeah, everyone was just like, all right, he's in, we're in. Like,
As soon as
we got another humper on board.
As soon as he mentioned humping, I knew that I could mention men's
It's
asses.
gonna be like that.
Yes, now we can talk about men's asses. Finally.
Oh my
He
God.
mentioned humping, and it was like in my mind. There's like that part in Ghostbusters where she's like, "We got one."
And we're all thinking like, let's tread lightly, and then
Right.
out of the gate, it's
And
like,
then, boom.
I was humping all kinds of stuff.
See, now that's why I asked that question. I wanted to know
if you
what,
had never asked, we would have never known.
Yeah, I wanted to know what kind of man Jason was, and then we learned.
He's a humping machine.
He's a humping
He's
machine.
very cool. He's
So
very
you all
cool.
can thank Kelly for finding out
Either
that
a
story.
humper or you ain't a humper.
Yeah, I do think it's funny how I was like, okay, guys, just be kind of chill.
Yep.
Kind of chill, and then all of a sudden, nope, he's
Humping everybody.
He's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I was just
Then we
running
can
around
drop
that
our
arena
shoulders
humping
back
everything.
and talk
Fun.
about docking and everything.
Just all that kind of stuff. So, Will, man, you must be excited.
Yeah, I
nervous.
can't wait. I mean, I'm excited, nervous. It's fantastic. I mean, last year was mine and Jay's first year
Right.
taking this over and running it. And we're like, all right, so we finally got a year under us. And then it was like, hey, you guys outgrew where you're at.
Right.
We need to move you to the arena. And we're like, great. Just when we thought we kind of had like the pieces in place, let's see what we can do here.
Right.
And it's crazy. Like, I guess I'll share it here first. I haven't posted, or Jay and I haven't really posted on Facebook yet. But moving into the arena, we picked up an extra 12,000 square feet of space.
That's a lot
which
of
is
space,
it's just
dude.
massive. And we were kind of like, man, like what are we going to do with all this space? We've added some cool stuff. Obviously, Limitless Wrestling's going to be in the arena. Feature Presentation, who did the Red Room last year, they're bringing up a sewer layer set, and they're actually building a Clerks, the convenience store.
Wow,
storefront.
That
will
is
be
cool.
That'll be the very first convention to have that.
That is
I'm bringing a trench
really
coat and I'm
cool.
Yeah, you got to bring the trench coat, right?
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, like, with that, we're still like, how are we gonna what are we gonna do with all of this, or are we even gonna be able to fill this? And we've sold out of everything, like 8-foot tables,
And that's crazy,
artist
'cause,
alley.
man, this is Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, Bangor, Maine.
Lights. Yeah.
Flash
Yeah,
lights.
flashlight. But yeah, man, everything, it's gone. Like
That's part of the
sold
VIP
out.
party.
That is part of the VIP party.
And he wasn't even offering that to anyone. That was kind of an under the table thing.
It literally was an
It was literally
He's like, okay, I know you're gonna want this, so there you go.
This comes with the table. Under the table.
Under the table.
You're coming.
This is that's that extra $10 convenience. Yeah.
Man, we are excited, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
so excited, dude.
you know, like it just. I'm still baffled by just the guests that we're able to bring this year.
I'm still baffled by
Why don't you name them? Because I don't want to butcher.
Oh man, all right. Let me
name
see.
this year.
Let me see. All right. So we've got Dana Snyder, Master Shake, Thundermans, Venture Bros, Penguin in the Batman animated series.
Okay.
Like over like 150 different voice acting roles. Paradise PD, which is huge on Netflix right now. Of course, Mick Foley. For wrestling fans, the hardcore legend.
You can never forget about Mick
Can't
Foley.
forget about Mick Foley, right?
Yeah, that's
Cactus
gonna be awesome,
Jack,
dude.
Love.
I'm excited for Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
it's-
watching him when I was younger,
Yeah.
and I don't even.
It's going to give you the
It
sock.
was only out of
He's
force.
gonna
but
Mr. Sacco, right?
I liked,
Yep.
Mick Foley, and I liked the other two twin guys there. They were cool.
Oh, the Hardys are.
yeah, he did all
Yeah.
backflips and shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, when
That's all I remember from wrestling.
Foley went through the Hell
Yeah,
in a
and
Cell,
Taker threw him off the
out of the
pedestal.
tax. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it was
like,
unreal.
Classic.
You know, I mean, obviously Jason Faunt, who's just on here. Catherine Sutherland, who's the Pink Ranger. Jeez, man, it's just crazy. Like, of course, the Clerks trio. We've got Jason Mewes, Brian O'Halloran, who's Dante. We just announced Jeff Anderson a little while ago, who's Randall. We're only the second or third convention in the world to have the three of them appearing together.
The trifecta.
Yeah, I got the trifecta.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, people want Kevin Smith. Couldn't happen.
He's busy, okay?
Right.
Stop requesting it.
Stop.
God.
Yeah, just give up on.
Right.
By all means, always request people.
day.
God, Kevin Eastman.
Did you already say
Go ahead.
Star Trek?
I have not said Star Trek.
okay.
Yeah. So we've got a Giant
Dude,
Turtles
he's
reunion.
still going with all the names.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
How crazy this is.
Kevin Eastman,
Checked out for like 5 seconds.
one of the co-creators of.
I'm sorry, I just blacked out. Sorry, go ahead.
Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Judith Hogue, who is
You got
April
so many guests.
O'Neil.
I'm going to have
Man,
an
there's
aneurysm.
so many.
All right. I
should
mean,
have it
we've
right
got
now.
Steve Levine, Jim Lawson, Ben Bishop joining with the Turtle Crew. Obviously, as Tony was just saying, Star Trek fans, we've got Jonathan Frakes, who is Riker. We've got J.M. Lee from Dark Crystal series.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop you right there for a second because I'm going to be expecting some royalties. I was talking to a couple people that I work with. I'm like, hey, Bangor Comic and Toy Con. I was like, oh man, I would love to see Jonathan Frakes. He was there last year, right? And I'm like, no, he's there this year. He's like, oh, well, then I'll definitely get tickets. And I'm just like,
All right, Tony gets like a 15% finder fee off of all of Jonathan Frakes tickets.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. We're gonna have a lot of free play there. We're gonna get all the big TVs.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are these, 75 inches?
75
We
inch
have
TVs.
a
And we're
massive
gonna get
space.
one of those really small portable TVs for people that we don't like.
Yeah, you're over there on that little tiny one.
Jason Knightley.
Jason, yep.
I mean, Jason.
Actually, primarily just for Jason.
Just for
Would be
Jason.
the only one that wouldn't be able to.
We'll put Eric over in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
We just flew you up, boys.
Special guest.
Oh, yes, Eric.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric's coming
I'll
in.
just put Eric behind the pipe and drape, and we'll figure it about him for the weekend.
CP Wilson, who's doing the Nosferatu, Return to Christmas Land stuff for Joe Hill, Lock and Key stuff.
Holy shit, man.
Israel Skellington, who makes all of the replica keys for the comic book or for the graphic novel for Joe Hill for Lock and Key.
You have a tattoo of him, right? No, that's Jack Skellington.
Hey, Bob. Bob Raymond says hi. I think it's important to say hi
Bob
to
Raymond
Bob
is
Raymond.
going to come there, and Bob does all of our artwork.
Wait, Bob's gonna be out?
Bob is coming out.
Hell
We're bringing Bob back from Utah.
That's awesome, man.
My buddy Rob's coming down from
You should
Canada.
always pull Bob out of Utah.
Joseph Schmalke and Jason Lynch are
moved to
doing
Utah.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Wife got a job out there, and they packed up a while ago. Well, a couple.
Yeah, we had that going away party.
Yep.
Dude, that was
that.
yeah. It's cool that he's coming back though.
Yeah, we've got Joseph Schmalke and Jason Lynch who are doing the Murder Hobo comic. We're getting the very first release of that, like 2 months before it's out anywhere else.
Wow, that's
Steve
cool.
Levine did a variant cover. Of course, we're teaming up with you guys in Maine Veterans Project.
And that's the most important part.
Yeah, we're
huge.
super stoked
Not
to
for
be
us,
doing that.
for the Maine Veterans Project.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and I think it's cool. Like the biggest thing is being able to give back to the community,
Right.
And and supporting the city, local business. That's what this is all about.
Well, you're bringing, you're bringing entertainment up here. I mean, we don't have a lot of that. That's why we spend most of our time at the bars. We need some entertainment.
I mean,
right?
we have entertainment during the summer, but the winter months are kind of and spring months are kind of dry.
Rough. Yeah, there's not a whole lot, and
They Great Skates is closed, so what
Great
the hell
Skates
am I
is
going to
closed.
do?
Yeah.
you need to go to Queen City Cinema Club.
Exactly.
You're welcome, Josh, if you're watching
I
this.
used to go to Great Skates. I still go to Skate Scene.
Skate scene, yeah.
Wow.
God, that building's like falling apart.
It really is.
Yeah.
Holy
It was a
crap.
Family Dollar or something for a while or
Why
whatever.
haven't they torn that down yet? It looks like a...
It's
just
because
bad.
of the Skate Scene ghost.
We gotta get
Always
some
just rolls
Ghostbusters
around
up here.
terrifying people. That's why.
This ain't a scene,
Has to
it's
be.
my goddamn
Right.
house. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Please
for that.
never again.
That was rude.
But yeah,
That's cool, man. I'm so excited,
Built
dude.
on an ancient roller skating Indian barrel.
Next week we're gonna see a new Stephen King movie, The Skate Burial Ground. No, wait. it's-
Tony also needs royalties for that, please.
Joke's on you. He already wrote that last week.
Yeah. Isn't that the burial ground for the skate scene over on Union Street? The skate park? The skate park.
Oh, man.
It's definitely ancient now.
I heard we got a new skate park.
That's what I
We
heard
got
too.
like $125,000 to put to a new skate park in Bangor.
Yeah,
Why-
it's
How
true.
the hell they make it out of like cement
Concrete.
this time?
Concrete.
Yeah.
It needs to be made out of that for it to be sustainable.
Instead of like
I actually
wet corrugated cardboard.
Yeah, it all fell.
I'm kind of salty because back when I lived in Vermont, I was a lot more into skateboarding than I was now.
Right.
And I went back home, and my local skate park got turned in from this wooden pile of shit to a built into the ground concrete skate park. And I was like,
Damn.
what the fuck?
It's going all right.
You got the fucking shit into that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We
I
only
did.
have one skate park that's even worth going to, and that's like at the Old Town YMCA.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is that
We
still
used to-
there?
I mean,
I didn't
as of
skate.
3 years ago, we played a couple shows there.
Yeah,
Like,
that was 3
like
years
Holy
ago.
Filth and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna book some
Yeah.
stuff out there, and they said it was done.
I didn't
wow.
skateboard.
I don't think like insurance stuff.
But
or
I did
something.
roll
Well,
the
the
blade.
benefit over the skate park. Where the fuck did the money go?
to a new skate park.
Up someone's nose, I bet.
I didn't skate. I rollerbladed, which is just skating with training wheels.
All right, you might as well. Basically, all I'm hearing is you got Heelys.
Deluxe Heelys.
Wear Heelys to escape your feelies.
Oh fuck, that's funny. Yeah, no, you know what? Fuck you. No, I never had Heelys. Oh my god. Where are they gonna build that?
That's the thing I don't really know. I'm
Is
kind of
Suban
curious.
watching?
Suban?
Suban would know. He posted
Yeah,
about it.
probably.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did. Okay, we'll have to go. It's probably in Brewer then.
Yeah,
Sounds like something that he would post in Brewer.
makes sense. Like put the Bangor skate park in
In
Brewer.
Brewer. Yeah. I was about to say that.
Brewer
but,
needs
you know.
something over there, guys.
We're gonna put
Like-
the Old Town skate park in Farmington.
The old farm skate park.
The old town,
You know where they should put it? Right in the middle of the mall.
Old Boone's fam.
Just
They
turn
should
them
make-
all into a giant skate park.
My point exactly.
Basically,
right.
you can skate there all you want. I don't think there's any security guard there anymore.
I don't think they're going to do a whole lot to stop you.
I don't
Well,
think
no,
there's
we don't have a
any-
GameStop there.
Yeah,
they can't-
I don't think there's any people to run into either. So,
Yeah, you basically got like running the land.
in fact, I'm gonna drive to the mall afterwards, get a longboard, and do a speed run.
Yeah, go into the
through the mall.
Zoomies and just like, hey, I need to test this out, you know? And
Hey, do you want a bag for this? No, I'm just gonna wear it out.
Wait, is that what's Zoomies?
it's like
It's a skate.
it's like
show.
the updated like Pac Sun type.
Pretty
It's
much.
more like
It's
skate.
it's like a main
it's a
stream
mall?
skate park. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't go
It's
there,
over.
I like the mall.
It's in the food court.
It's in the food court. Okay.
What food court?
Thank you. Thank you. It's like it's so bad. Like
The one food place that's on his last leg.
yeah, like the where,
Bangor Pizza and Subs or whatever.
yeah, where like
Yeah.
Sbarro's was.
Podcast. Oh,
like,
by the way, guys, this podcast is sponsored by the Bangor Mall.
Which is why we haven't been paid in about 3 years.
So we still haven't been paid.
That's why we're going bankrupt, and we're soon ending Winter House Gaming. So it's been nice knowing you guys.
I don't know. I
great
can keep going on for another like week or so. I just found like an old string cheese wrapper in my jacket pocket. Boom.
Well, there. All right.
Yep.
I don't know about you guys, but it is fucking warm in here.
It is warm.
Go
ahead.
Final Fantasy 7.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
Tell
The
us about
demo dropped on technically Monday
3
morning,
days ago.
and so
3 days ago.
yeah, it got announced that it was on the PlayStation Store like at like 2 a.m.
And I
And of
think
course, I was up, and I happened to have been scrolling through Facebook on the page that it posted like 2 minutes ago. It's like, oh, the demo's on the PlayStation Store now, and I immediately put it in the Discord, sent it to Eric, obviously.
Oh shit.
Yep, and
I think we all promptly downloaded it.
absolutely, streamed it Monday night. I gotta tell you, I don't even care anymore that I've waited 14 years for it.
Well, I'll tell you that it was beautiful what I saw. Absolutely. I downloaded. I just haven't had time yet.
It's
but-
flawless. It's,
It's really streamlined.
Seems strange for such a hyped up game, like a game that's been put on such a huge pedestal, to say that it is absolutely flawless.
I think the time that they did take with it, that extra time, really made it into something
Well, 'cause
special.
I'm pretty sure that they knew that if they fucked it up, people would riot in the street.
Well, I mean, yeah.
don't
it-
fuck it up.
It's got the perfect blend of that old school feel. Now you fill your active time battle gauge by attacking, and then once either you or your teammates or whatever fill it, you can press X. You can either press X to slow everything down to a grinding halt and kind of play it like the old school one. Kind of select your move, select your teammate.
I was
move.
actually playing it in a combination of both
Yep.
ways, selecting from the commands menu and then pausing it with X
I
and
played it
doing the
in
commands
a
that way.
shrimp boat.
Bubblegum shrimp.
Bubblegum shrimp.
Bubblegum shrimp.
Oh, I don't want to go home.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Well, Will, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Again, thank you to Jason. It was a great time. If you guys want to know more about Bangor Comic and Toy Con, you can go where?
Facebook to hell. No. You can go to our Facebook page, Bangor Comic and Toy Con. You go to the website, bangorcomicandtoycon.com. Make sure you go to that website. There is another website that is not ours, and people were still trying to buy tickets and whatnot. So, bangorcomicandtoycon.com. Lastly, I mean, I get to hang out here for like an hour and a half prior and seeing the setup and everything that goes into this. It's amazing. So thank you guys so much for taking the time
Well, thank you for that, man.
Thanks.
to go through this, set it up.
We
and-
appreciate
and
that.
make
It's a
this
pain in the
happen.
ass.
It is a lot of
sometimes.
work to bring this, but it's worth it every other third time.
Really? And this is not that third
It was
time. So.
it was worth it this time,
Absolutely.
and the end.
At Bangor Comic and Toy Con 2022, we'll talk then. It might be worth it then.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you later.
Peace.
See it.